or other intimidating actions directed at student athletes.
What better way to celebrate the 4th of July than with some baseball? And today it's the second leg of a home-and-home series between the Harwich Mariners and the Brewster Whitecaps from Whitehouse Field. Alongside Luke Brenneman, I'm Milo Hoffman. It's the 4th of July, America's 250th birthday here, and we're all celebrating in Harwich, Massachusetts on a hot and steamy Saturday here at Whitehouse Field. And the Mariners and Whitecaps are going back at it after yesterday's pitchers duel that Harwich won by a score of 2-1. So these two teams are bringing in momentum. Yesterday, Brewster's win streak of 4 straight wins was snapped. Now Harwich has a win streak of 4 straight.
Yeah, Harwich can smell 5 in a row, I think, picking up the first leg of a home-and-home Friday-Saturday date with the Whitecaps. And on the road, that's going to be the toughest. But now you got to strap back in and try and go for the 2-game sweep over Brewster. Jacob Schultz, the lefty for Harwich, getting the ball. That's a very good sign. But while we're mentioning yesterday, Jackson Peavy, the lefty out of Georgia, 4 2/3 of one-hit, no-run baseball. He really set the tone in that game. And then the combination of Sosky, Arthur, and Flores out of the Mariner pen. That was a win for the entire pitching staff yesterday. We'll see if the bats can wake up a little bit today and win in more of a home-style Harwich way, if you will. They've played really well offensively the last 2 games at home.
Yeah, 7-1 record here at Whitehouse Field for the Mariners this season. They have been dominant on the field and grass of Whitehouse Field. All right, Luke already mentioned it. Jacob Schultz getting the start for the Mariners. He has a 1.50 ERA so far this season in 12 innings pitched. He has 10 strikeouts to 6 walks, and he's coming off a very impressive start against the Bourne Braves a couple of days ago, a week ago to the day exactly. He went 6 innings against the Bravos, 2 hits, just 1 run, 2 walks, and he racked up 4 strikeouts. So he's trying to bring in that momentum to this game against the Whitecaps today. And Jacob Schultz, the lefty, back-to-back days with the lefty starter for Harwich, and he's just trying to stay dominant. Obviously just transferred over to Houston from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Schultz has had a marvelous summer, 12 innings pitched, just giving up 2 runs, 10 strikeouts, and he's kind of the guy. I mean, it's the 4th of July, so maybe a little bit more hype in this matchup, and he's asked to get the ball to continue this win streak. Harwich is chasing down the best team in the league, and the Mariners look like one of them right now.
Unfortunately, no stream for today's broadcast due to heat and technical difficulties, but we'll still have the radio call for you up here in the Whitehouse Field press box, and make sure to stay tuned throughout. All right, let's do it here at Whitehouse Field. The Mariners and the Whitecaps on the 4th of July. Schultz is set. He deals to Keel. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. First pitch at 4:33 here at Whitehouse Field. Temperatures up north of 90 degrees. Fans still filing in here on the 4th. Schultz comes set at the letters, and he pitches inside, and counts 1-1. Terrence Gill hitting 158 this season, no homers and 3 RBIs. He came in to pinch run yesterday in the game against the Mariners. Didn't start. Schultz, the lefty on the mound. Keel, the righty in the box with a severely open stance. Here's the 1-1. Off speed, just misses inside, and it's 2-1. Keel plays his college ball at Texas A&M. Has struck out 11 times this season in the Cape. Ahead in the count, 2-1. Schultz fires. Swing and a miss. 91-mile-an-hour fastball right on by, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Schultz isn't a huge swing and miss guy. 25 strikeouts in 19 innings. It's a small sample. The numbers were there at Vanderbilt this year, but from what we've seen in his starts, he's a lot of soft contact, navigates well with runners on.
2-2. Chopper right side of the infield. Curlin charges, gloves, and fires to first in time. And there's one gone here in the top of the first.
Okay, 2 more.
Terrence Keel led off for the Whitecaps. Now it's Jay Abernathy, the right fielder, starting for Brewster. Behind him, it'll be Brody DeLavallee with the DH. Jacob Lee
right fielder,
doing the catching. He's 5, batting cleanup. Eddie Yamin, the first baseman, bats 5th. Hayden Pantier, the third baseman, is batting 6th. Michael Torres, the center fielder, 7th. Jake Lambden, who plays his college ball at Duke, bats 8th. He's the shortstop. And Pete Daniel, the second baseman, rounds out the Brewster lineup. Schultz fires home. Pitch is high and wide, and it's 1-0.
So an interesting move here from the Whitecap skipper Jamie Shevchek, the RBI king and maybe the best player on this team when it comes to Whitecaps. He leads the team in hits. Jamie Laskovsky gets the day off in a huge divisional game.
1-0. Fouled right back, and it's 1-1.
And then also the best power bat and RBI leader of the Whitecaps, Dane Harvey, is out today as well. Granted, Harvey went 0 for 4 yesterday. Laskovsky got on base 3 times. He was 1 for 2.
Counts 1-1 on Abernathy. Here's the pitch. Outside, and the count is now 2-1. Abernathy led off yesterday for Brewster. He went 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. He scored Brewster's lone run and was the last hitter to come to the plate and lined out to first base. Sean O'Leary caught it to end the ball game. 2-1. A little poker on the ground left side. Peltier, the third baseman's there, gloves, and throws across the diamond in time. And there's 2 gone.
Yeah, right on cue for Schultz. It's just, throw strikes. If guys want to bite at his off-speed stuff, it's not the best in the world. He throws the fastball right at 50% of the time, and then the cut fastball another 15. So 65% of his pitches are going to be a fastball in some sort of way. And if you poke at those sliders away in the zone, it's just going to warrant softly hit ground balls for a Mariner defense that's been A+ as of late.
Here's Brody Delamalier, the number 3 hitter in the Whitecap lineup, today's DH. Here's the Schultz pitch. Breaking ball curves in for strike 1. There's that 12-6 curve. It's just filthy from Jacob Schultz. No score between the Mariners and the Whitecaps here, top of the first, 2 gone. On 4th of July, so glad you're spending it with us. Here's the 0-1. Outside, and it's 1-1. Delamalier went 0 for 4 yesterday against the Mariners. That broke a 4-game hit streak for the FSU product. Schultz ready. There's the offering. That's a strike on the outside corner. Nice fastball at 92, and it's 1-2.
Let's have one more of those.
It was another hot one, and still is a hot one here at Whitehouse Field. Sun is shining down on all parts of the infield and outfield. There's the 1-2 offering. Popped up, stays in the infield, left side. Shortstop Castellón is there, calls everyone off, and he makes the one-handed grab to retire the side. A smooth 1-2-3 first for Jacob Schultz and the Mariners, and now the M's are coming to bat in the bottom half of the inning right here on the Harwich Mariners
The Brewster Whitecaps
Radio
and the
Network.
Harwich Mariners, the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back here at Whitehouse Field as we head to the bottom of the first. Still no score between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. A nice 1-2-3
Leading off the
frame
bottom of the
for
first inning
Jacob
for
Schultz,
Harwich.
the Mariners
From
starter,
Boston College,
and the top half
the right
of the
fielder,
inning.
number 4, Colin
Now it's time
Larson.
for the Mariners to come to bat, starting with Colin Larson, the leadoff man. He's playing right field tonight for Harwich. Battles Peyton Manka, a lefty on the mound for the Whitecaps. He's been filthy so far this season in the Cape. This is his 4th start. He has a .84 ERA in 10 2/3 innings pitched. He's striking out 15 batters and had just 3 walks coming in to today. So he's been filthy. Pitches his college ball at Florida State. Last start against Falmouth on June 28th. Went 3 innings, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and no walks. A left-on-left matchup to begin the bottom of the first. Manka kicks and fires. That's a strike on the outside corner with the fastball, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Harwich getting the double dip of dominant lefties from Brewster in this home and home. Yesterday it was a lefty out of Connecticut, and that was Connor West. West pitched well, but he got outdueled by the Mariners' Georgia Bulldog, Jackson Peavy.
0-1. That's a strike on the outside corner, another fastball, and it's 0-2. Colin Larson, a .327 hitter, 2 homers and 8 RBIs this season. He's been pretty much the Mariner leadoff hitter for the majority of the year. Remember, didn't start on opening day. There's the 0-2. Upstairs, and it's 1-2.
Good eye.
Larson just wasn't really a guy that jumped out to you, whether he was a Mariner or in the Cape League in general. He had 225 at school, drove in just 21. You start looking at his numbers here, he's having a summer of a lifetime.
1-2. Outside with the slider, and it's 2-2.
I mean, this could be the best story going in Cape Cod, and we're kind of brushing it over because we get the luxury of seeing him play every day and hitting .330, having 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in, leads the team with 4 doubles, leads the team with 14 runs scored. On-base percentage machine. He's slugging the ball. I mean, what has he not done?
2-2. Larson takes inside with a breaking ball, and it's 3-2.
And he also now is tied with Ryan Garrity for the team lead in walks. So he's putting the ball in the gap more than anybody. He has 4 doubles, 2 homers. That's 2nd or 3rd on this team.
Yeah.
And the batting average is number 1.
And he pretty much always works along at bat. Another one right here. Payoff pitch. Hard hit ground ball right side. Second baseman Daniel dives and can't make the play. It trickles into right field for a base hit. And Colin Larson is back at it again. A leadoff single for the Mariners here in the bottom of the first. And
From
now
Cal
it's
Poly,
Nate
the
Castellon.
shortstop, number
Larson
12,
just a rising
Nate
junior at Boston
Castellon.
College next year, and it's going to be really fun to see him, the rest of the summer, but especially how he progresses when he goes back to the aluminum bat and in the ACC at BC.
There's Castellon, the shortstop today for the Mariners. Bats from the righty side. Manka checks back to first. Had Larson leading, and he's out. Colin Larson over there, like Luke was saying, has 8 stolen bases, but now he gets picked off, and there's 1 gone in the bottom of the first. Wow. I mean, that wasn't even close. Steve Englert's calling over first base umpire Mike Griffin. Maybe complaining that the pitcher was never set.
He's arguing that's a balk.
Yeah. Mike Griffin makes the long run over to the third baseline, where Steve Englert greets him with his hands on his hips. Colin Larson was leaning, and I believe, the argument is that the pitcher, Manka, was not set on the hill. And now a long pause as Englert is still talking to Mike Griffin, and that's finally over. Englert shakes his head, talks to himself a few times, and walks back to the dugout.
Well, that front foot of Manka, if it comes to the plate, and then he kind of ditches that to throw over to first, got away with it.
There's the pitch to Castellon. Fouled right back. It's 0-1. Castellon hitting .476 this season. Obviously came over late with the Mariners. He is 10 of 21 at the plate, but just stellar. 0-1. Inside. Fastball barely missed, and it's 1-1. He's been doing everything. Castellon been a smooth shortstop, has played some second base as well. Yesterday went 2 for 4 against Brewster with an RBI. Here's the 1-1. That's a strike at the knees with the fastball. And it's 1-2.
Now, I'm waiting for Steve Engler, and whatever he's doing is working. I'm not saying that he should do it, but I think it would be fun to see Larson first, Castellon second, and then Smolinski third, because those are your 3 best hitters.
1-2, swing and a miss. Castellon down on strikes. That's just his 3rd strikeout in a Mariner uniform. And there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 1st.
From Florida, the second baseman.
Strikeout of the
number
evening
11,
for Peyton Manka.
Curlin.
Obviously, he came in with a whole bunch of those. For Manka, that's his 16th K on the season. Just over 11 innings pitched. Here's number 11 for the Mariners and Cade Curland. Pitch home. Swung on and fouled right back. And it's 0-1. Curland, transfer from Florida to LSU, hitting .256 this summer, a homer and 4 RBIs. DH'd yesterday for the Mariners against Brewster. He went 1 for 4. Pitch home. Fly down the right field line, foul. And the count is 0-2 on Cade now.
Good throw there from Jeff Merzell behind the plate. Pumped that thing in.
That's some power right there. Everyone's feeling it here on the 4th of July. American flag out in right center field, breezing. Slight wind here at Whitehouse Field. There's the 0-2. Just misses inside, and it's 1-2.
And I think what we're getting early is a first inning that the way it started, we know Manka's been dominant, 11 innings on the Cape, just 1 earned run. Schultz right there, around there with him, ERA below 3. Have 2 big lefties dueling it out.
1-2, breaking ball chopped on the ground, third base side. Pantier is there, gobbles and throws to first in time. And that does it here in the bottom of the 1st. 2 easy innings from both starting pitchers as we head to the 2nd. Here's still no score from Whitehouse Field and on Cape League TV. We head to the 2nd here at Whitehouse Field on the 4th of July. So glad you're tuning in to the Mariners and Whitecaps. Still no score. Jacob Schultz takes the hill once again for Harwich.
Leading off the top of the
A
second
hot
inning
one
for
here
Brewster.
on Saturday
From TCU,
afternoon.
The catcher,
Start time was
37,
4:30
Jacob
today.
Lee.
Hope everyone gets back and can celebrate the 4th of July, maybe with some fireworks later tonight. Jacob Lee digs in for Brewster, the Whitecap catcher. Schultz peers in and fires. Fastball's right there down the middle for a strike, and it's 0-1.
It's kind of his game, those first pitch strikes.
Getting ahead of batters. Jacob Schultz worked a real smooth first inning. A couple ground outs and a flyout. 0-1. Off speed misses high and wide, and it's 1-1. Schultz came in with 6 walks this season. In 12 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts. Pitches to contact. Here's the 1-1. High fly, deep to left field. Hotchkiss drifts towards the line, and he sees it foul, just barely. That ball deadened out there in left field, and Hotchkiss was run over and then pulled up short as the ball was about 3 feet foul.
I'm not going to lie. It seemed like that's a ball that Hotchkiss might be able to get to. I don't know if there's the sun here or he just knew it was going foul.
Yeah.
I mean, the coast was on about 10, 15 feet before that ball landed.
And Jacob Lee walks back to home plate. Still not there. He rounded first base and was on his way to second when that ball landed foul. So the count's 1-2 on the Brewster catcher. Still no score here. Top of the second on 4th of July here at Whitehouse Field. Schultz steps back on the rubber. And he fires. That one sliced down the right field line, foul. About 5 feet this time. Coates gave it a look. And it's still 1-2.
So the more you dive into the lineup changes this afternoon from yesterday for Brewster, you take out your RBI slugger Harvey and you take out your best player Leskovsky, but you sub in Eddie Yaman, who has 3 doubles, so he's a gap hunter. That leads the team. And then you also get Michael Torres back in, who's hitting 7th today.
1-2 is outside, and it's 2-2.
Which is a little bit of a trade-off. Torres is a really solid hitter. I don't know why he's hitting 7th. 270 for average, 7 ribbies, 3 doubles, tied with Yaman for the team lead. So maybe less power when it comes to slug in a ballpark like this, but more gap hunters and speed on the diamond.
2-2. Fouled right back. Yeah, Torres also leads the team in walks with 9 of them this season, so someone who can get aboard and work long counts.
And when you dive into that box score from yesterday, Milo, a 2-1 win for Harwich, 2 errors from the Brewster defense. Harwich played a clean game. Brewster's undefeated when they don't commit an error. And having 2 of them in a 2-1 game, those can be a big impact on an outcome.
There's the pitch. Breaking ball way upstairs at 73 miles an hour, and Maluski, the Harwich catcher, had to raise his glove on that one. So the count is now full on Jacob Lee. 0-0 between Harwich and Brewster here, top of the second. Nobody out. And the payoff pitch. Fly down the right field line. That's twisting foul. And it's still full. Jacob Lee yesterday went 1 for 4. His single did come in a big moment. It was the 9th inning to start off the frame, and he ripped one to left field to try and get the rally going for Brewster. But in the end, Harwich sealed the deal and pulled out a pitcher's duel win for their 4th straight victory. Here's the payoff pitch once again. That one misses inside, ball 4 to Jacob Lee. And so Brewster has their leadoff man aboard here in the top of the second. And that walk is our first free pass of the game, presented by Cape Cod Community College. Go to Cape Cod Community College for free. Every program, no tuition or fees for those that qualify. CapeCod.edu/free for more.
That's a really good at-bat. You get a 9-pitch walk to kick off an inning from the catcher Lee. He fought.
Here's the pitch to Yaman. That misses inside. Another fastball. And it's now 1-0 on Yaman. He's played 5 games this season for Brewster. A .222 hitter, a homer, and 3 RBIs. Lee off of first. Here's the pitch. That's downstairs. 2-0 with an off-speed.
Yeah, Brewster for the first time this summer trying to get into Schultz and his efficiency on the mound. His last time he pitched a week ago against Bourne, he went 6 innings of 1-run baseball in sub-80 pitches, 78 pitches.
Ready for the 2-0. Here's the pitch. High fly, deep to left field, hooking down the line, foul. And it's 2-1. That one had the sound off the bat right there.
Just a little bit too early.
Yaman had a home run against Wareham for Brewster a couple days ago, his first of the season. Plays his college ball at LSU. Counts 2-1. Lee off of first. Pitch. Flied in the air, shallow left field. That one's hooking foul. Peltier, the third baseman, is there, reaches back, and the ball scrapes off of his glove, and he can't grasp it. So the count is 2-2 on what was almost a nice catch by the Mariner third baseman.
Good effort over there by JP. Yaman's a pretty good story. New York kid who goes to Dayton to play baseball, is there for 2 seasons, but his first season he struggled, hit 178 for average, then goes up to 342, a monster 13 homer, 54 ribby season, and then gets that call from LSU. Had a solid year there, didn't play much.
Here's the 2-2. Yaman watches a breaking ball inside, and the count's now full. No score between the Mariners and the Whitecaps here in the top of the second. Lee off of first base, nobody out. Schultz fires home. Chopped off the foot of Yaman, and they'll do it again. So long at-bats by the Whitecaps here to begin the day. Brewster came in with 72 walks as a team this season. That's 7th in the Cape, so they haven't been walking too much this year. Harwich has 92 walks, that's first. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, so back-to-back walks now by Jacob Schultz. And Brewster is first and second with nobody out here in the top of the second.
Never want to see back-to-back at walks from your starting pitcher, Milo, but you got to give credit to Brewster here. I mean, the first at-bat from Lee, who's now at second base, goes 10 pitches. That one to Yaman goes 7 pitches. For Schultz, it's about that first pitch strike and then getting ahead and staying ahead. That's been iffy in these first 2 at-bats here the second inning. And I think it's hurt him because his off-speed stuff has just been fouled away when it's been in the zone, and Brewster's taken ball 4.
Now he deals to Pantier. Pitch is at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. Now, yesterday, Brewster walked more than they hit. They had 5 walks against Harwich, just 4 knocks. Already have 2 walks today. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, and it's 1-1. Another off-speed there by Schultz that missed by a lot.
Just trying to find that groove. Right now it's good pitch, and then maybe a little bit too outside like that one. See if he can get ahead here in the 1-1.
Infield shifted to the pull side for the righty. 1-1. Chopped foul off of his foot. And the count is 1-2 now on Pantier.
That was the cut fastball. So you talked about the off-speed not really being there in this inning. I think you hit the nail on the head. He started with a 4-seamer, called a strike. Then the cut fastball got the swing and a foul from Pantier.
Pantier made his debut with the Whitecaps yesterday against the Mariners. Went 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. He did walk. Here's the 1-2 offering. Ground ball, back to the pitcher, Schultz. He gobbles it, looks around, throws to first, and that's not in time. So Jacob Schultz caught the ball about 7 feet to the left of the pitcher's mound, looked at third base, but Lee was already there, then checked on second. Yaman was cruising in, and by the time he looked at first, Pantier was already safe. So the bases are loaded now with nobody out in the top of the second.
Some tough luck with that being an infield hit. I think for next time around, Schultz just knows that on a ground ball, everybody's on the move. So the only play is really going to be at first base unless one of these base runners slipped and fell down. And some early trouble brewing here for the M's.
Yeah, Hunter Dilworth, the Mariner pitching coach, is walking out to the bullpen, to the mound, as the entire Mariner infield is surrounding Jacob Schultz. So Pantier with his first hit here on the Cape, a little infield knock. He's transferring to Georgia Tech for next year. Last season, he played at Walter State, a JUCO, and listen to this. He hit 30 home runs with 124 RBIs. Yeah, those numbers will get you to Georgia Tech, a 1 seed in this past year's NCAA tournament. Mound visit over by Hunter Dilworth. He walks back to the Mariner dugout. M's this evening in their cream tops with the Red Sox. Brewster in their navy blue tops, almost like a teal color with the white pants.
Big spot here.
Bases loaded, nobody out for Michael Torres, the center fielder. Left on left matchup. Here's the pitch. Fouled right back. And the count is 0-1.
Really good sign to get ahead. There's nowhere to put him. There's nobody out. So you're okay with the run scoring here. Looking for that double play ball. Now, the key to Cape Cod that a lot of managers say is eliminate the crooked number. You can't have those snowball innings.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Schultz. That's outside, and the count is 1-1. Well, Brewster this season, they're the best in the Cape in hitting with the bases loaded. 10 for 20. That's 500 on the dot. They have one grand slam. Here's the 1-1. Skied in the air, down the left field line. That's foul. Way out of play. And the count's 1-2.
No better time for Schultz to record his first punch out of the contest this afternoon. Got ahead 1-2. That was a good breaking ball that time. Torres just kind of had to flare at it. Torres has been aggressive, left on left, a plus spot here for the M's.
Middle infield back for the double play. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled down the left field line again. Brewster is making Jacob Schultz work today. We've seen a number of long at-bats from these Brewster hitters. Already 37 pitches for Schultz on the mound. 1-2 on its way. Here it is. That just misses outside with a breaking ball. And the count's even at 2-2.
Yeah, Brewster's battling right now. That's a wicked slider running away from the lefty Torres. And Schultz just isn't getting the call on the corner. He's also not getting the bite from the Miami center fielder.
0-0, top of the second, bases juiced and nobody out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is there for strike three called. A 74-mile-an-hour curveball that poured over the zone beautifully. And there's one gone here in the top of the second.
That's massive. That was a beauty.
The shortstop, number 6.
Kind of caught Torres
Jake
just
Lambton.
sitting on something else that wasn't that, because whenever you get a breaking ball that lands right down the middle, it looks really pretty, and especially that delayed reaction from the home plate umpire, Jeff Merzel, made it even more cinematic of a strikeout with the bases loaded. But that's a hanging breaking ball that Torres probably wants to put in the seats if he got again.
That ball looked like it came in slow-mo from up here. Here's the hitter, Jake Lambton. Pitch home. Inside, that almost hit him. And Lambton was planted in the righty box. He was willing to take one for the team right there.
You're right. I think he was trying to wear it. Would have been a good play.
Brewster only scored 1 run yesterday against Harwich. Final score was 2-1. Mariners took it. Now the Whitecaps are seriously threatening here in the top of the second frame. Schultz comes set. Here's the pitch. That fastball misses upstairs, and it's 2-0. Jake Lambton hitting 176 with runners in scoring position this season. Can he come through? Duo. Downstairs, and the count's 3-0.
Might not have to.
No place to put Jake Lambton. No score between the Mariners and the Whitecaps here, top of the second. And the count is 3-0 on Lambton. Shortstop for Brewster today. Schultz comes set, and he fires. That's on the outside corner for a strike. And it's 3-1. Took something off that fastball at 89 miles an hour, but painted it perfectly.
There's one of those spots where a lot of pitching coaches say, just throw your stuff, find the zone, and live with the results.
3-1's the count. Here's the offering. That misses inside, and it's ball 4, and a run comes home to score for Brewster. Jacob Lee touches home. Lambton with the RBI walk. That's his 6th run batted in this season. And it's 1-0 Whitecaps here in the top of the second, and the bases are still loaded.
Yeah, that hurts. That's the 3rd walk of the inning.
From Virginia Tech.
And after you get the punch out on Torres, you really start feeling pretty good about it. Maybe, even if you give up a sac fly, you still surrender the run, but you start to see an end to this inning. But the top of the order looming after Daniel here. You really want to go after him.
Here's the pitch. That's down the middle for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Daniel just 2 for 15 on Cape Cod. And Lambton wasn't much better, $156 for average. Got to pound the zone in the bottom of the order.
Here's the 0-1. High fly, center field. Garrity's there, comes in a few steps, and he makes the grab. Yamin tags from third. The throw from center goes to second base, so it's a sacrifice fly for Brewster. It's an RBI for Daniel, his first of the season. And now it's 2-0 here in the top of the second.
Really good approach in that bat from Pete Daniel. He took a first pitch fastball
From
right
Texas
down the middle,
A&M,
so he
left
gave
fielder
the
number
respect
3,
of
Terrence Keel, the
his
second.
teammate Lambden, who had just walked, just saying, maybe I got to see a few from Schultz. He's battling the zone right now. But then once he saw one strike, he was ready to hit, and just a fly ball to center field was all the Whitecaps needed.
So it's back to the top with Terrence Keel, who grounded out back in the first. Runners off first and second pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1, fastball high. So Schultz has given up 2 in the inning. It was an RBI walk from Jake Lambden and then a sacrifice fly just a few moments ago from Pete Daniel. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's outside. And it's 1-1. Keel struggled with runners in scoring position this season, a 167 average in moments like this. 1-1. Breaking ball chopped back to the pitcher Schultz. He leaps, grabs it, throws to first in time, and that does it here in the top of the second. But Brewster gets 2 runs off of just 1 hit and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the second here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. We head to the bottom of the second here at Whitehouse Field. And now the Whitecaps hold a 2-0 lead over the Mariners after the RBI walk from Jake Lambden and then Pete Daniels' sacrifice fly in the top half of the frame. It'll be Jackson Hotchkiss to lead off the inning for the Mariners.
From Washington,
It's still the tall 6'6", 256-pound Peyton Manka on the hill for Brewster. The lefty steps foot on the rubber. He kicks back and fires home. High and wide with the fastball, and it's 1-0. Jackson Hotchkiss got the day off yesterday against the Mariners. Back in there, hitting fourth and playing left field for Harwich today. Here's the 1-0. Flied back foul. And the count's 1-1. Hotchkiss, 276 hitter this summer, 2 homers and 9 RBIs. Stands tall in the righty box. Here's the 1-1 from Manka. High fly, that's a pop-up right side of the infield. Second base, Daniel is there. He camps under. That one hit the sky, and finally he makes the play. After about 8 seconds of hang time for the Hotchkiss pop-up, and there's one gone.
From Kansas State, the designated hitter.
Wind has died down here at Whitehouse Field.
Ty Smolinski.
And now it's Ty Smolinski, the hitter for Harwich. DH today. Played second base yesterday for the Mariners. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball that just missed outside. And the count's 1-0.
This is our first sub 5 p.m. start here at home. Brewster's used to these starts.
1-0. That's popped up. Foul territory, left side third baseman Pantier comes over, still running, and he makes the one-handed grab at his head for out number 2. So 2 sky-high pop-ups that stayed here around the infield. And there's quickly 2 outs.
You could use
From
that
Wright State,
Pantier and
the
the
third
catcher
baseman,
Lee
number
connection
13,
as maybe a
JP
coaching
Peltier.
diagnosis on how to communicate on a fly ball like that. Sure, it was in the catcher Jacob Lee's territory and a longer run for the third baseman Pantier, but he is right in front of us when he made that catch, and you could hear him calling the catcher Lee off.
Pitch to Peltier is fouled right back, and it's 0-1. Now that was a long run from Holden Pantier, who was playing about 10 steps inside the third baseline. A full-on sprint. He caught it. He was still moving. Second game on the Cape for Pantier. Pitch to Peltier. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel calls him out. So it's 0-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And Peyton Manka is on the verge of pitching a almost flawless inning here. Peltier digs back in. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, and it's 1-2.
Good eye.
Manka has just 22 pitches so far today.
Well, we're just going to have to make this guy work because he's extremely dominant, not only here, but he was at school. A 3.06 ERA.
1-2. That's downstairs, and it's 2-2.
And this is one of those guys that even in the scouting report you say, here's his stuff, this is how we can maybe try and beat him, but the best plan might be to just try and run him out of the game. And yeah, that comes with hits, runs, but also comes with running up his pitch count, like Brewster's done to Jacob Schultz.
2-2. Downstairs in the dirt. So now the count's full on Peltier.
Walk is good. We'll take
Like
a
Luke
walk.
was saying, and you hear the fans here. A walk is good, trying to get aboard. Just one guy's reached against Manka so far. Of course, just an inning and 2/3 through this ball game. It was Larson, but then he was thrown out on the base paths after getting picked off. 3-2. That's inside. Ball 4 to Peltier. And it's a 2-out walk here for the Mariners in the bottom of the second. They trail 2-0 to the Whitecaps.
You saw Manka's reaction. He threw up his arms.
From
and
Cincinnati, the first
you don't
baseman,
see that too
number
often
25,
without the home plate umpire
Quentin
having a word with
Coates.
the pitcher.
Okay, quit that.
I will give Manka the benefit of the doubt. I think he's got a point. Thought that might have caught the corner by quite a bit. But in these situations, a starter in a groove early on, maybe you throw him out or throw him off with a 2-out walk.
Pitch to Coates. That's a strike on the outside corner. Fastball perfectly placed. And it's 0-1 on Coates, who's maybe been the hottest hitter for the Mariners over the last handful of games. He's 8 for his last 20. Batting average all the way up to 286. 0-1. Fouled right back. And it's 0-2.
I feel like we've kind of talked about it enough. When he was struggling at the start of the summer, Milo, we were just saying it's a matter of time with this guy. I mean, him showing up, and we see BP, we see IO. When he's practicing, he's out there like it's a game.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's outside, and it's 1-2. Yeah, yesterday, post-game interview with Lily Reisenweber, a sideline reporter, he said all he wants to do is win. And he shows it on the field, does everything with 100% effort. Check back to Peltier at first, the Cape Cod Baseball League leader in stolen bases this season. He has 12 of them. 2-0 Brewster over Harwich here, bottom of the second. 2 outs, Peltier off of first. And the count's 1-2 on Coates. Pitch home. Swing and a miss. So Manka strikes out Coates. It's his second strikeout of the evening for the tall lefty on the mound. And the Mariners go down quietly. No runs, no hits, one man left on base. And at the end of 2, it's 2-0 Brewster here on the
99
Harwich
Restaurant
Mariners Radio
Club
Network.
is proud to support the
Welcome back to Whitehouse Field as we head to the third here on the 4th of July. So glad you're tuning in with Luke Brenneman on Milo Hoffman. 2-0 Brewster on top of the Mariners, and it's Jacob Schultz back on the hill for Harwich, trying to shut down this Brewster lineup that already has more runs today in the third inning than they did all of yesterday against Harwich. Mariners won 2-1 over at Stony Brook Field. This is the second leg of a home-and-home series against the Whitecaps. These two games are the first time these two teams are seeing each other all season long. It's Jay Abernathy to start off the frame for Brewster, 2, 3, and 4 in the Whitecap lineup. Left-on-left matchup. Here's the pitch home. Fly back foul, and it's 0-1. Abernathy grounded out to third base back in the first inning. Hitting .281 this season, no homers and 3 RBIs for the Oklahoma product. Transferred from Tennessee a couple weeks ago. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, and it's 1-1. Maluski, the catcher, forced to his feet. With a full stand, now he squats back down. Slight breeze here at Whitehouse Field. Schultz ready for the 1-1. Here's the pitch. Ripped into deep right field. Larson back in the gap, battling the sun, and the ball bounces up against the wall. Abernathy rounds first and cruises into second with a leadoff double here in the top of the third. That was a ripper off the bat of Abernathy. And now a runner in scoring position early on here in the frame for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, he got all over this pitch. Fastball, and he pounced all over it. The velocity at 90 miles an hour on that fastball from Schultz, so he's not going to blow it by you like some of these guys out here. And credit Abernathy, a guy who just recorded his first extra base hit of the summer. He got something to hit there and drove into the gap.
Here's DeLamiere, the hitter. Pitch home. Breaking ball curls in for strike one at 73 miles an hour. That 12-6 curve has worked well for Schultz today. Abernathy takes his lead off of second base. Here's the 0-1. Pitch home. Fly ball. Shallow right field. Coates, the first baseman, backs up. Now Curlin, the second baseman, is there, but the right fielder Larson makes the play in the end and calls everyone off in foul territory. He throws on the run to third base to keep Abernathy at second. So a big first out in the inning here for the Mariners.
Really big first out. That's as good as a strikeout. Abernathy stays put at second base. Don't let him advance to third with just one out. Job's not finished at all yet. Had to give credit to Colin Larson on that double from Abernathy. He had a long run into the right center gap. He made a really nice throw that held Abernathy from going to third base, and then he makes an even longer run to catch that ball in foul territory. It's going to be gassed out there.
Yeah. Also the weather today, it's hot. Pitch home. Flied in the air, that's a pop-up. That'll stay in the infield. Off Jacob Lee's bat. First baseman Coates is called off by Curlin, the second baseman. And just like that, there's 2 quick outs.
This could be a big momentum boost here. Not only to put a 0 up after the 2 spot the last time the Whitecaps hit, but this is the heart of the order for the Whitecaps. Abernathy, the leadoff double. And you hope that if Schultz can get out of this, retiring 3, 4, and 5 in order of the Whitecaps and keeping that runner at second base, he feels momentum in the offense will kickstart behind him in the home half.
Here's Eddie Yamin with 2 gone. Schultz fires home. High and wide with the fastball, and it's 1-0. Yamin walked back in the second inning. He came around to score. Playing just his 6th game in a Whitecap uniform this summer. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It was a little sword hack there from the righty in the box. Kind of went halfway, but fully went through, so now the count is 1-1 on Yamin. Pitch home. That's right down the middle for a strike, and it's 1-2. 1-2's the count, 2 outs here Brewster on top 2-0 with Abernathy off of second and Yamin the hitter in the box. Schultz comes set. There's the pitch. Downstairs, it gets by Maluski, the catcher, and Abernathy takes off for third. So a wild pitch from Schultz. And now Brewster has a runner on third base with 2 gone.
Might change your ability to go back to that dirt ball with Abernathy just 90 feet away. I think he scores on any base hit to the outfield from second. We've already seen an infield base hit in this game for the Whitecaps.
2-2. Schultz set. There's the pitch. Breaking ball just misses outside. Jeffrey Merzel has a tendency to make those strike calls very slowly, so you never really know if it's going to be strike 3 until about 5 seconds after the pitch, when for sure it's too late. The count's full now on Yamin. Here's the payoff pitch. Ripped down the left field line, foul. And it's still full. Yamin has played summer ball with a whole bunch of different teams in his tenure. He played with the Orleans Firebirds in 2024, then went to the Amsterdam Mohawks in the Perfect Game League in 24, the Socrates Stallions in 2024 of the Perfect Game League as well. Played for Falmouth last season. There's the 3-2 pitch from Schultz. Long pause. Here it is. Breaking ball. Misses inside. Yamin flips his bat as he works a long walk. And now Brewster has runners on the corners with 2 gone here in the top of the third.
Kind of like that fire from Yamin. He knows that he's grinding right now. He walked his last time up in the second inning on a really long at-bat. That's a marvelous take on a breaking ball that started inside the zone and then just ditches inside. I mean, that's a borderline ball for Yamin. Read it and knew it the entire way. I think he's trying to fire his guys up after a tough loss yesterday.
So here's Pantier. He singled back in the second. Pitch home. That's inside for a strike. And it's 0-1. Nice off speed there from Jacob Schultz. Pantier wobbles his bat. Here's the pitch. He fouls it right back. And it's 0-2.
And outside of that Abernathy double, that was just the second hit of the contest for the Whitecaps. Granted, top of the third, but look up at the score. Runners on the corners here. Already 2-0. The contact has not been any different from what Schultz has warranted this entire summer. It's simply just the control.
Runners on the corners. Here's the 0-2. High and wide. And it's 1-2. Jacob Schultz trying to find the command of that fastball today. He's already up to 65 pitches, and like Luke said earlier in the broadcast, his efficiency was what made him so productive and lethal against the Bourne Braves in his last start a week ago. 1-2. Upstairs with the fastball, and it's 2-2. Pantier is now 1 for 4 in a Whitecap uniform so far this summer. Made his debut yesterday against the Mariners. Already played in the Appalachian League this summer with the JC Doughboys. 2-2. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. With the JC Doughboys in the Appalachian League, Pantier hit .395 in 43 at-bats.
Just got the call up to the Cape League for the second summer in a row.
Can he come through here? Payoff pitch. Here it is. Oh, that looked like it hit him, and it did. On the wrist, it seems. Would have been ball 4, but now it's the bases loaded for Brewster here with 2 gone in the top of the third, and the Whitecaps still hold a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, 4 walks now.
From Miami,
5 free passes after the hit by pitch.
Michael Torres.
I don't know if it's just a tough day to get a grip on the ball for Schultz. He was ahead in that bat, a ball and 2 strikes. Now you got to deal with maybe a more lethal hitter here, and Michael Torres has 7 RBIs on the summer.
A left-on-left matchup. Runners off every base. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. It's 1-0 now on Torres. Whitecaps are the best team in the Cape with the bases loaded. Now have had the bases juiced twice so far today. We're just in the third inning. 1-0. Outside. 2-0. Schultz has already walked in a run. That was when Jake Lambden came up in the second inning. Down in the count 2-0 right now to Michael Torres. There's the pitch. Downstairs, and the count is 3-0.
Miguel Hugas is now starting to loosen up in the Mariner bullpen, which only used 3 arms yesterday, so I'm sure they have a cavalry of guys that are able to come into this game.
Off day coming up for all teams on Monday. 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4, and Jacob Schultz has walked in another run. Jay Abernathy trots home and scores for Brewster, and now it's 3-0 Whitecaps here in the top of the third. The bases are still loaded with 2 outs.
It's getting difficult out there to find the control. I mean, after the leadoff double, you really saw a spark from Schultz. Pop out, pop out. There's 2 outs, runner at second. And since then, it's walk, hit by pitch, walk. I mean, sometimes guys just don't have their A-plus stuff. It's understandable. But how can you find other ways to get guys out? And right now, Schultz is in that battle.
It's the command that's really coming back to haunt him. 5 walks now on the day for Schultz. And it's a mound visit on the hill. Hunter Dilworth, the Mariners pitching coach, is out there talking to the whole infield. And it's been a slow-moving ball game here just in the top of the third. Started at 4:30. It's 5:28. And this inning has been a long one for Jacob Schultz and the Mariners on the defensive side of things. Here's Jake Lambden, who, like I said, already has an RBI walk today. He's hitting just 156 on the Cape. Schultz, the lefty, to the righty, Lambden in the box. Runners off every bag for Brewster. Pitch home. Downstairs with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count's 1-0. Back-to-back innings for Brewster, where 7 hitters have come to the plate. In the second, they put up 2. 1 run already home here in the third. 1-0. That's a strike on the inside corner. Another fastball from Schultz, and the count's 1-1.
Kind of danger zone right here for Schultz and the Mariners. If you keep walking guys in or Lambden finds a gap, you're really looking at an uphill battle. 3 is extremely doable.
Schultz set. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, a breaking ball. The count is 2-1 now on Lambden. Yesterday, Lambden against the Mariners, he went 0 for 4, but he almost hit a solo home run. Had the home run distance, but foul. 2-1. Downstairs, and the count is 3-1. I was talking to the Brewster broadcasters before this game, and they said Lambden's been the most unlucky hitter for Brewster this season. Every time he puts together tough at-bats, hits the ball hard, but hits into bad luck. Here's the 3-1. Chopper down the third baseline, foul, and the count's full. This season, Lambden hitting just 176 with runners in scoring position. Schultz dangles out his left arm, pulls it into his glove. Bases juiced. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. It's another RBI walk for Jake Lambden. And now it's 4-0 Brewster as Yamin comes home to tack on another. And this inning and this outing for Schultz on the hill is starting to get
From
very,
Virginia Tech,
very
second baseman number 10.
hot and dire. And now Steve Englert out of the dugout for the Mariners. Climbs the hill, takes the ball from Schultz, and that'll do it for the Mariner starter. He leaves the bases loaded, 4-0 the score, as Brewster holds a lead over the Mariners. And we'll be right back for Miguel Hughes, who comes in with the bases juice. Don't go anywhere here on Cape League TV. Back here at Whitehouse Field, still in the top of the third inning, and the bases are loaded for Brewster as they hold a 4-0 lead over Harwich. And a new pitcher on the hill for the Mariners. It's Miguel Hughes, who just transferred to South Carolina a few days ago. He's making his 6th appearance so far this summer. He has yet to allow a run with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. He inherits 3 runners aboard. Obviously, none of those runners his responsibility. They'll deal to the 9-hitter in the Brewster lineup, and Pete Daniel. Hughes taking his warm-up pitches on the mound. 4th of July here at Whitehouse Field. So happy you're spending it with us, with Luke Brenneman. I'm Milo Hoffman. 2 RBI walks in the inning by Brewster. That's 3 RBI walks on the day for the Whitecaps. And now Miguel Hughes tries to shut the door here on what's been a long inning for the Mariners. Already 2 runs home.
Yeah, it's a tough one so far. Tough game so far. I mean, there's not much you can do defensively or anyone else when you just can't find the zone. See if Hughes can pick it up.
He deals to Daniel. Pitch is outside. It's 1-0.
And this is rare territory for Hughes. This is a guy who's really only come into the game 7-inning point and beyond. Now he's in the 3rd inning.
Here's the 1-0. That's a strike on the outside corner. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Count is 1-1. And like you said, it's a good point. Miguel Hughes, normally a high-leverage guy. Now just trying to stop the bleeding. 1-1. Breaking ball is there for a strike, and it's 1-2. 1-2, 2 outs, bases juiced. Brewster on top, 4-0 here in the top of the 3rd. Hughes fires. Downstairs, and the count's 2-2. Hughes taps his head on that one. The smile, almost like an ABS challenge, but of course there are no ABS challenges here in the Cape. So all jokes, he cracked a little smile. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Fly down the right field line, foul. And the count remains the same.
I think you kind of see the confidence that Hughes has. He does that kind of as a joke.
Yeah.
A lot of guys would freak out and get frustrated. He attacked the zone right back with the 2-2.
He comes set on the hill. Twists and throws home. Downstairs, it got by Maluski barely. He gets up and recovers, so runner on third in Pantier stays put. Count is full on Daniel.
Huge pitch.
Big time coming for Hugus. Another ball would walk in, another run in this inning. That would be 3 RBI walks in the frame and 4 on the evening for Brewster. Hugus set. He pitches home. Outside ball 4. It's another RBI walk. Daniel touches home. Make that Pantier touches home. Daniel touches first base. And the bases remain loaded here for Brewster, and it's back to the top of the lineup
From
with
Texas
Terrence
A&M,
Keel.
left fielder, number 3, Terrence Keel II.
It's now 5 consecutive free passes with 2 outs in this inning.
Brewster is hit through the lineup. 9 hitters to the plate. Here's the pitch to Keel. That's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. You feel like if Keel can come up with a hit now, that's really the backbreaker. It's been a slow death in this frame for the Mariners. 0-1. Just misses outside, and it's 1-1.
You know, something to maybe be interested in, just as a baseball fan, is the pitch calling is coming from dugouts now. In the big leagues, a lot of catchers do it on their shin pad.
1-1. Chop left side. Shortstop Castellanos there. Goes the short way to second in time. And that'll do it here in the 3rd inning. But Brewster tacks on 3 runs. You know, they all came across RBI walks as we head to the bottom of the 3rd here at Whitehouse Field. It's now 5-0 Whitecaps. We'll be right back on the Mariners Radio Network.
Summer attraction. Leading off the bottom of the 3rd for Harwich. From Mississippi
We head
State,
to the bottom of the
catcher,
3rd here at Whitehouse
number 20,
Field. So glad you're
Kevin
tuning in alongside Luke
Maluski.
Brenneman, Milo Hoffman. It's now 5-0 Brewster over Harwich after 3 RBI walks in the top half of the inning. Still Peyton Manka, the tall lefty on the hill for the Whitecaps. He kicks and fires. Swing and a foul tip into the glove, and it's 0-1.
Brewster, a lot of good fortune, but a nice start to this game. They have their best starter out there in Manka, a 5-run lead in the first 2.5 innings.
Here's the 0-1. That misses outside, and the count's now 1-1. If you're going to call back for the Mariners, you got to start somewhere. Maluski just 3 for 17 so far this summer with the Mariners. That's a 176 batting average. 1-1. Maluski foul tips it into Lee's glove once again, and the count's 1-2.
Got a feel for those catchers today.
It's a hot one here in Harwich. Yesterday, actually, according to our producer, Sawyer Goldwine, it was the hottest day in Brewster history. 97 degrees over at Stony Brook Field. And the heat is here to stay, at least for the 4th of July here at Whitehouse Field. 1-2. Downstairs with the breaking ball. And the count is 2-2 now on Maluski. 90 degrees here in Harwich today. Manka twists and fires home. That just misses inside with the heat, and the count's now full.
Kind of with Manka there. He gives another look into home plate. I'm not going to go back and say that Jacob Schultz should have had a couple called strike threes instead of ball four. He was kind of erratic, but this zone is really tight on that inner half.
3-2. Chopper fouled down the third baseline. And the count is still full on Maluski.
I think getting the leadoff man aboard here would be a nice start for Harwich. You need base runners, you need runs. You know, extend innings, get Manka out of this groove he's in. Gave up a hit to the first batter of the game, Colin Larson, or for the Mariners at least. Hasn't given up a hit since.
Payoff delivery. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 93 miles an hour, right on by Maluski. It's Manka's third strikeout of the evening, and there's one gone here in the bottom of the third.
Fielder number 3, Ryan Garrity.
You talked about the control issues for Jacob Schultz on the Mariners side. He had 6 walks today. 5 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings pitched. He came into the evening with 6 walks on the season. Here's the pitch. Outside to Ryan Garrity, and it's 1-0. Garrity, the number 9 hitter in the Mariner lineup. Hitting 163 this season, no homers and 3 RBIs for the Northeastern product. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fly down the left field line. That goes foul. And the count is 1-1. Garrity made a huge defensive play yesterday for the Mariners out in left field. In the 7th inning, a dipping line drive out to left center. And Garrity made the diving grab to showcase his glove. 1-1, line drive left field. Keel is over there. Doesn't have to dive for this one. And he makes the grab for out number 2. So Garrity's retired, and it's back to the top of the Mariner lineup with Colin Larson.
Good to see Garrity hitting the ball hard. He had that double yesterday. You mentioned his defensive success and his eye. That's what's keeping him as a near everyday player for the Mariners. His double yesterday ended up being a big deal in that game, just a 2-1 game for the M's. He hit that one hard to left, just in the wrong spot.
Pitch home. Fly right field, shallow. Abernathy's there, so is the second baseman Daniel, and Abernathy makes the play in the end to retire the side. The Mariners go down quietly, 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third, and Brewster still holds a 5-0 lead as we head to the 4th here in the Harwich Mariners Radio.
Happy 4th of July. Time for the 4th inning here in Harwich. The Brewster Whitecaps, well, they're owning the day so far. They lead the Mariners 5-0. Thrilled that you're tuned in on Cape League TV. We apologize with no video stream today. It's just been in and out, trying to get some technical issues figured out, but we're on the radio at home, and it's 2, 3, and 4 due up in the top half of the 4th for the Whitecaps. Miguel Hugues, the righty, is back in there. He came in with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 3rd, walked in a run, and then finally put the side away. So Jay Abernathy, who kicked off the 3rd inning, will also kick off the 4th inning. He doubled, came around to score on, guess what, an RBI walk. That's how all the runs have scored. That's now 5 of them for Brewster outside of the sac fly that Pete Daniel had in the 2nd inning. First pitch to Abernathy. Fastball, cut on, fly down the right field line. Larson coming in towards the line and makes the catch in stride, 1 down. So the Mariners are going to ask the righty Miguel Hugues to eat up some innings here, and I mean a lot of outs. And potentially one of those games facing a 5-run deficit for the M's where get off the field quick, just pound the zone, not too much of, I'm not going to say risk, but don't think about much. Just fill it up, as Brian Matashat, Mariner reliever, likes to say. And here's Brody DeLamielleure, the DH. Right on right matchup, first pitch fastball, fouled, squibbled down the first base side out of play. DeLamielleure is 0 for 2 so far. When you start looking at the Harwich pitching staff, the Mariners come in on a 4-game winning streak. Over those last 4 games, the Mariners have only given up 9 runs. The 0-1's a slider that lands on the outside corner, called strike 2. Giving up 9 runs in 4 games is a good way to win 4 in a row. Tonight, a little bit different. 5-0 Brewster. 0-2 pitch. Chopper right in front of home plate. That's staying fair. Hugues picks it up and then tags DeLamielleure out himself about halfway in between home and first. And there's quickly 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Miguel Hugues was chasing DeLamielleure down the line there. And after he was tagged out, DeLamielleure kept running all the way into the Brewster dugout.
Start of the 4th inning is brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil, proud to recognize our hometown heroes throughout the Cape. If you're active duty military, a veteran, police, fire, or EMT personnel, you are eligible for a discount. Eastern Propane and Oil. First pitch to Jacob Lee is a slider that just misses outside. The count's 1-0. Lee is 0 for 1, like many others, has a walk in this game, came around to score in the 2nd inning. Just 2 hits, good for the 5 Whitecap runs. 1-0. That's right down the middle. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Called strike 1, evens the count. Harwich wearing their white unis today. The red, white, and blue look. Always good on the 4th. The 1-1. Smash the other way, foul. And Hugues gets ahead here of Jacob Lee, 1-2.
Yeah, it's all about commanding the zone for Hugues. Just making sure you're pouring in strikes. On his way to a pretty quick inning here.
Here comes the 1-2 to Lee. Hugues turns, kicks, and fires. The 1-2 way outside. Maluski, the catcher, had to lunge to catch it. And the count's even at 2-2. Harwich was able to snap Brewster's 4-game winning streak going into yesterday in the afternoon over there at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Now Brewster's trying to get that win right back. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball, third base side. That's just foul. And we'll do it again. Beautiful day. It's starting to cool down now that we're approaching 6 o'clock here on Cape Cod. Yesterday, Milo mentioned the hottest day in the history of Brewster. Felt like 103. Today, more of the same, but not as deathly hot. The 2-2. This is a ground ball, foul, third base side. I think the story of tonight, if you're going to give Brewster credit for their 5 runs outside base on balls, is they've drawn long at-bats in this game.
Yeah, every single one of their at-bats has felt like it's gone long, and right here, a perfect example, Lee's just battling.
2-2, that's foul.
3 foul balls all down the third baseline, and all very similar swings from Lee.
Quick fly out to start this inning, and the ground out from DeLamielleure, and Lee just battling here in the 2-2 count with Hugues with nobody on. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball up and in. He had to do a 360 to get out of the way. Jacob Lee avoids the baseball and works this count now full. 2 out walks, that's been a theme. There's been 4 of them already in this game. Payoff pitch. This one is popped up, shallow center field. Crashing in quickly is Garrity. On the run, he makes the grab. And a 1-2-3 fourth from Miguel Hugas puts Brewster down after a 3-run third. The Mariners coming up to hit, and they need some work. Bottom of the 4th when we come back, 5-0 Brewster on Cape League TV.
Field would be complete without picking up.
Bottom 4 here on the Mariners radio network. And the 4th of July, Brewster leads Harwich 5-0. Harwich due up in the home half. It's 2-3-4. Castellón, Curlin, and Hotchkiss against the lefty starter Peyton Manka. Manka's been excellent, giving up just 1 hit in this game. Only other base runner was a 2-out J.P. Peltier walk in the 2nd. After a 1-2-3 third, he looks to keep up this Whitecap momentum. Time is called at the plate. The catcher, Jacob Lee, is now walking into the Brewster dugout, and trailing him is the home plate umpire, Jeff Merzel. He's like a parent following you upstairs when you hid candy to sneak to your room or something.
Yeah, now everyone's ready. It's an interesting note because now, you know, the Mariners have played so much defense today. It's been a lot of defense. Castellón's coming up. He's probably felt like his entire day has been spent at shortstop. But there has been so much defense played for the Mariners. It feels like you hit, and you got to take advantage of it.
First pitch to Castellón's a fastball up and away, ball 1. I think you're right, and that's a mantra that a lot of coaches use when you're down in a game. Try and slow the game down offensively. See pitches, get on base. A lot of what Brewster's done early on. The 1-0 is a fly ball to dead center field. Michael Torres lets it hang up there in the wind, and corrals head high for the first out of the 4th.
Yeah, it's at-bats like that, you know, aren't great in situations like this. You want to see pitches and try to work your way on. And like you said, slow down the game offensively, because if you're up, let's say, an hour in between at-bats, you're naturally going to press a little bit and try to jump on some balls that you think you can do some damage with.
It's 1 out in the 4th. Manka has only thrown 42 pitches. Here's Cade Curlin. First pitch, fastball, a little bit too high. Ball 1. Manka's a guy that's not going to give up too many free passes, though. In 17 2/3 at school, he only walked 6 hitters at Florida State. And so far on the Cape, he has just 1 walk tonight. That's 4 total in over 14 innings. The 1-0 is ripped to left field, but right at Terrence Kill II. He grounds over and makes the catch. So back-to-back flyouts to kick off the 4th in a matter of just 3 pitches. And there's 2 outs with nobody on for Jackson Hotchkiss.
The left fielder.
Yeah, it's just quick work for Manka today.
Jackson Hotchkiss.
Hotchkiss 0 for 1, popped up to the second baseman Daniel his first time up. First pitch to Hotchkiss, fouled straight back. Fastball was inside, caught it off the handle, 0-1. Harwich comes in, scoring 26 more runs on the summer than Brewster. Brewster just 80 runs as a team, Harwich 106. Harwich good for number 2 in Cape Cod. 0-1 to Hotchkiss, spoiled foul the other way. That was his low fastball, and now he's down 0-2. Where Harwich thrives is walking 92 times, number 1 on the Cape, and the other offensive stat that they leave Cape Cod in is the 62 stolen bases. Brewster's number 2 in that category with 35. 0-2 to Hotchkiss, pops straight up, drifting towards foul territory, and that does leave play. The wind is blowing in and a little bit down the first base right field line. That pushed that one foul first base side.
Yeah, I mean, it's just domination right now for Manka. These foul balls, Hotchkiss a little bit off balance, staying alive, but it's still 0-2. So you feel like the starter for Brewster can really go anywhere he wants right now.
That's how it's felt all afternoon. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball right down the middle, called strike 3. Manka is on fire right now. The lefty out of Florida State is dealing. He's gone 4 scoreless, and the Whitecaps lead the Mariners 5-0. We'll be back for the 5th on the Mariners Radio Network. Back here on the Mariners Radio Network, top of the 5th. Brewster leads Harwich 5-0. Get some country tunes playing here at Whitehouse Field on the 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. 250 of them. And no better way to spend America's birthday with a little bit of baseball. America's pastime. With Milo Hoffman, I'm Luke Brenneman. It's been all Brewster so far. It's 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Whitecaps. Eddie Yaman will kick things off.
For Brewster from LSU, the first baseman, number 8, Eddie Yaman.
Miguel Hugues back out there for the M's. Hugues came in to take out the starter Schultz in the 3rd. Schultz turns, kicks, and fires. First pitch fastball outside, ball 1. So Hugues has really been a back-end, even closer in the Mariner bullpen so far this summer, but when you look at his year at Mercer collegiately, he was a starter. Started 15 times. 1-0 pitch, Yaman rips it into left field. That dunks in for a base hit. Yaman stepped all over a center-cut fastball and hit it to the pole side. A leadoff hit for the Whitecaps. That's the 3rd time Yaman's been on in just the 5th inning.
Yeah, he's got some real confidence. He had that bat flip on the walk that he worked his last time up. He's going up there with some swag.
For more on Hugues, as a starter, the longest he went was in mid-March against Tennessee Tech on the road. That was 8 innings of 2-run baseball. So he's used to pitching in the middle early innings of games, just not out here on Cape Cod. First pitch to Holden Pantier, swing and a miss, strike 1. Harwich trying to turn over the Whitecaps now and get back in the batter's box, trailing by 5. Pantier's 1 for 1. 0-1 pitch. That's a little bit up and in. Ball and a strike. Pantier singled. That was an infield hit in the second inning. It loaded the bases, and then he was hit by a pitch and scored in the third. Just 3 hits for the Whitecaps, good for their 5 runs. There's been 3 RBI walks. Check that, 4 ribby walks. Check over to the runner at first. Yaman back with a lunge. 1-1 count here, still on Holden Pantier. Got his first hit of the Cape League summer back in the second inning. Hughes from the belt, 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It was a nice slider away. Pantier was reaching for it a little bit too early, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Jacob Schultz, the Mariners starter, lines at 2 2/3 of 2-hit, 5-run baseball, 6 walks. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back, and we'll see another one. Hughes can pump that fastball in there, and the slider can be his put-away pitch, but when he throws his fastball as hard as 96 on the radar gun, that can also be a strike 3 caliber pitch. Runner dancing at first base, way off the bag. Here comes the 1-2. Runner didn't go. Fastball was down, and the count's even at 2-2.
Yeah, he was almost halfway to second base on that lead.
And Yaman was doing some sort of dance I've never seen before. He got so far down, why didn't he just go? He's off a first here in the 2-2 count. Pantier the hitter. Hughes from the belt. 2-strike pitch. Ground ball left side. That sneaks past the dive of Pelletier at third into left field. And back-to-back base hits in that same direction to left. Kick off the 5th for the Whitecaps. They want more with a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, now it's
From
different.
Miami,
Now the Whitecaps are picking up the hits.
24,
They only have
Michael
4 hits
Torres.
today. You say, well, they've scored 5 runs. Well, yeah, they have 4 RBI walks and a sac fly. So they haven't actually brought home a run with a hit, and now the knocks are starting to land.
Now it's Michael Torres' turn. Had a day off yesterday, center fielder out of Miami. He already has an RBI walk in this game. First and second, nobody out, top of the 5th. Hughes, first pitch. Torres shows bunt. Pulls it away. Fastball missed outside. Ball 1. Hughes looks in at home plate umpire Jeff Merzel, and read his lips, he said, "Is that low?" Kind of a funny look back at the home plate ump, but the count's 1-0 regardless. Corners come in. Torres shows bunt again. He pulls it away. This pitch is called a strike. Now it's 1-1.
Here we go again. I mean, that's what you think. Like, Brewster's putting up numbers every single inning, it seems. And if they're not, it's still long, grueling innings for the Mariners.
2 in the second, then 3 in the third for the Whitecaps. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is a cue shot into left field. That's another base hit. The stop sign is on for the lead runner Yaman at third. And on 3 consecutive singles to left to kick off the 5th inning, Brewster has the bases loaded with nobody out.
And the bases are loaded, it seems like, every single inning for the Whitecaps.
This is now the 3rd time that Brewster has had the bases loaded in this game. They still do not have a hit with the bases loaded in this contest. Maybe hard to believe, but 3 of their 5 team hits have come in this inning. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for Jake Lambden. Lambden's already had 2 at-bats, make it now his 3rd at-bat with the bases loaded. First pitch slider down and away, ball 1. He has a pair of RBI walks. So he's up to 7 ribbies on the season, and now he's ahead of Hughes 1-0 here.
Wouldn't this be something?
Hughes trying to find the zone. 1-0 upstairs, not even close. Now 2-0.
I mean, when's the last time this has happened? 3 RBI walks in a game, let alone the first 5 innings.
Hasn't happened yet. 2-0 count. Hughes trying to strap back in. The infield is normal depth. Quentin Coates at first base is in a little bit against the right-handed hitter. Just barely on the border of the infield grass. Time is called at the plate by home plate umpire Jeff Merzel, and we're set and ready to go. Bases loaded, nobody out. Brewster up by 5. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. This is skied, shallow center field. Garrity on the chase. He now camps under. Yaman is ready to tag at third. He does. The throw's coming to the plate, and it's up the line. A sac fly for Lambden, his 3rd RBI of the night, And now it's 6-0 Brewster. Runners stay put at first and second.
It's a good at-bat. He did exactly what he needed to do. Garrity in center field has that left arm that he uses to throw, obviously, so a little bit of a tougher angle there for the lefty. Had to get around the ball and then readjust. So throw way up the line, and now Brewster's trying to tack on.
Here's the 9-hole hitter, Pete Daniel. He has a sac fly ribby and a base on ball ribby. First and second, 1 out. Brewster up 6-0. First pitch from Hughes, slider, down and away, ball 1. Hughes has gone to that first pitch slider a couple of times now in this 5th inning, where Brewster's had a lot of traffic on the bases. Hughes set from the stretch. Now comes home with the 1-0. That's high and tight. Now 2-0. Bases aren't loaded. The top of the order and Terrence Keel waiting for an opportunity to really blow this game open. For now, it's Pete Daniel. Here's the 2-0. That's on the outside corner with the fastball, called strike 1. The bottom of the order, believe it or not, has been the best part. I mean, I would make the argument they've done better than any bottom of the order this entire Cape League season through not even 5 innings. 2-1 is outside, and what I mean by that, as the count goes to 3-1 on Daniel, is take out the sac flies. There has only been 1 at-bat in now 14 tries where a Brewster player from 5 to 9 in their lineup has not gotten on base or driven in a run. 1 at-bat in 14 tries. 3-1 pitch, ground ball, third base side. Peltier on it, throws to second for 1. Curlin the turn in time. A massive 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. Hughes gets out of it, giving up just 1 run on the sac fly. And the Mariners trail by 6, but maybe a spark to end this inning. We'll see if the bats will wake up when we come back in the home half of the 5th on the Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 5th here in Harwich. The Mariners have work to do offensively. Brewster has jumped out to a 6-0 lead in this one. Harwich has 5, 6, and 7 due up.
From Kansas State.
Alongside Milo Hoffman, I'm Luke Brenneman. A gorgeous 4th of July here in Harwich. I would say the Cape is maybe the best place in the United States of America to spend the 4th of July.
It's definitely up there. I mean, it's got the history. It's got the weather. Checks off a lot of the boxes.
Manka, the starter, back out there. First pitch fastball. Guess what? It's in there for strike 1. Manka has dominated the Mariners so far. In his 4 innings, he's just surrendered 1 hit and 1 walk. No runs. 0-1 pitch. Smolinski rips it into right field. Abernathy on the chase. It drops in front of him. And there's a leadoff knock for Harwich. The second hit of the game. Smolinski aboard with nobody out.
All right, here we go. Nice piece of hitting from Ty Smolinski right there, but it's time for the Mariners to start stacking those here because
third baseman,
it's getting late a little early. I mean, Brewster's putting up at-bats every single time, it seems like, and the innings are so long on the defensive side for the Mariners, they need to start taking advantage offensively.
6 runs is a lot in baseball, but in the 5th inning, it's not insurmountable.
No, not at all.
Here's J.P. Peltier, left-on-right matchup. Manka comes home, first pitch fastball, called a strike at the knees. But to your point, Milo, there's something about this game that makes the lead feel bigger because Brewster has had guys on in every single inning, and Harwich has just gone down in order, it seems like, time in and time again. 0-1 to Peltier, a swing and a miss. JP almost lost his bat. He's now looking at the handle, touching it, now touching the barrel with both hands. And he's not going to get a new bat or pine tar. He's down in the count 0-2. Manka has 4 punch-outs so far this afternoon. The big lefty looks at the runner at first, comes home with the 0-2. Punch the other way into right field. That's a base hit. Smolinski got a late start, and he's going to have to put on the brakes at second base. Back-to-back knocks to right for the M's. And there's runners at first and second with nobody out for Quentin Coates.
How about this? In the top half of the inning, Brewster started the frame with 3 straight singles to left field. Now Harwich has hit back-to-back singles to right field. And a big at-bat here for Quentin Coates. He's been one of the hottest Mariners.
Quentin Coates is on fire. He's 8 for his last 21 at the plate. Had 3 hits yesterday. And he hits lefty pitching very well. First pitch from Manka, just a little bit too low. That's ball 1. Fastball out of the 6-6 lefty. Manka now into the 5th inning. Remember, at Florida State, he didn't go longer in a game than 3 innings. 1-0 pitch. Coates takes inside. It's now 2-0 on the big Harwich first baseman. Coates leads this team with 4 doubles, hitting .286 for average, 4 runs batted in. But he's just now heating up. A guy who hit 28 home runs at Cincinnati this school year. 2-0 pitch. Coates pops it up. Shallow right field. The first baseman, Yaman, gets called off by Abernathy down the line, catches it on the line for the first out of the 5th. That's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, at very least you want to move the runners over there in that situation if you're Coates. I like trying to put the ball in play, of course, but you're not going to get all 6 runs back in this inning. If you have 2 runners in scoring position, it's a whole lot different, and now Brewster thinks they can get out of this with a double play.
It's now up to Kevin Maluski. Peltier and Smolinski off first and second. Just 1 out. Harwich trailing 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Maluski 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. Left on right matchup. Manka comes home with the first pitch. Swing and a miss at a head-high fastball. The count's 0-1. Maluski just 3 for 18 to start his summer in Harwich. Trading off each and every day with his fellow Mississippi State Bulldog catcher Sean James. 4 Mariner starts. The 0-1, a looping breaking ball, drips right down the middle for called strike 2. And Maluski. Same with a lot of Mariners, just staring down 0-2 counts quickly. Manka's been in control. 0-2 pitch. That's in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, Jacob Lee. He's going to throw down to second. The throw goes into center field, but the shortstop, Lambden, was there to back it up. A really nice play. Both Smolinski and Peltier advance. That's now Mariners at second and third with 1 out.
I like it. You see an opportunity. Coates pops up to right field. Both runners stay put, but now it's all right. We got to get in scoring position in a little ball that did not get far from the catcher. They take the bag.
2-2 count on Maluski. Here's the pitch. That's down low. That's a really good take in a 2-strike count. And the count's full. Two-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A costly strikeout on a pitch that was over the 6'4" Maluski's head. Got him to bite on the fastball. There's now 2 outs with runners at second and third in the Mariner 5th.
Ryan Garrity.
5th punch out of the night for Manka.
That's a tough at-bat right there for Maluski. I wanted to bring home 1. Now another situation here for Garrity. Can he come through?
Harwich with runners in scoring position, middle of the Cape, number 5 hitting .255. First pitch to the outfielder Garrity, a fastball upstairs. Ball 1. Tough left-on-left matchup here for Garrity, hitting just .163 on the summer. 3 runs batted in. A chance to add to that here. The Mariners need it. 1-0 outside, not even close. That was the four-seamer from Manka. It's now 2-0.
And Garrity's actually a 250 hitter against lefties, 3 for 12. So seen some success against the southpaws.
Garrity has walked a team-high 12 times. He's up in the count 2-0. First base is open. Manka kicks and fires. This one's fouled straight back. Garrity was ready to hit. He was on time. Just a little bit under it. Foul ball. The count's now 2-1. It's funny because Harwich hits .254 for average as a team. That's number 2 in Cape Cod. They have an identical number with runners in scoring position, which is number 5. The 2-1 is a flail of a swing and a miss at a Garrity. He swung extremely late and could not connect. It's now 2-2.
Joke up here. Try to put the ball in play.
Peltier off of second, Smolinski off of third. The Mariners trail 6-0. Chance to get 2 back with a base hit here in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Garrity stays away from a fastball just off the corner, and the count's full. There you go. An action pitch coming. Colin Larson's on deck. That's the top of the order for the M's. 2 hits in this inning. Mariners just trying to cash something in to get some momentum in this game. Payoff pitch. Garrity stays away from a fastball up and away. That's ball 4. Second walk of the night from the lefty Manka. And Colin Larson, one of the Mariners' best sluggers, will get an AB with the bases juiced.
Good at bat from Garrity. He stayed calm and composed right there. And Brian Del Russo, the pitching coach for Brewster, is out trying to settle down his pitcher and the most adversity he's faced so far this evening.
Manka hasn't faced much adversity on Cape Cod. This is his 4th start. He's now gone 15 1/3 innings on the hill, giving up just 1 run. He has 20 strikeouts in those 15 1/3, just 5 walks. And his average start here in Cape Cod has been at 52 pitches. So far, Manka has thrown 67 pitches. He's into the best start of the summer on Cape Cod. Brian Del Rosso, the pitching coach, is going to exit the rubber, and the infield go back to their defensive spots. 2 outs. The bases are juiced for the M's, trailing by 6 in the middle innings. Garrity off of first, Peltier at second, Smolinski the lead runner at third. And a left-on-left matchup with the Mariners' best hitter for average, Colin Larson. First pitch. In the dirt, a nuts block from Jacob Lee behind the plate. He stood up with his hand up against the ground and was able to just glove it. That was his only hope on the spiked fastball.
Noah Thigpen is up in the Brewster bullpen. Hasn't pitched yet this summer for the Whitecaps.
It's Manka v. Larson for now. Here comes the 1-0. Larson swings. Shallow blooper to right center field. Abernathy can't find it. A diving play. And did that just end the inning? Michael Torres came from outer space and just made a catch.
Oh my goodness.
Abernathy in right field had no idea where the ball was. And Torres, full Superman head first dive, sprawled out and caught the ball. That would have scored 3. And the Mariners leave them loaded in the 5th.
I mean, that's one of the best plays I've seen.
We'll be right back for the 6th inning. Brewster 6, Harwich nothing on the Mariners Radio Network. Top of the sixth here in Harwich, and a heartbreaker for the Mariners offensively in the bottom of the fifth. The center fielder for the Whitecaps, Michael Torres, made maybe the defensive play of the summer to rob Colin Larson from a bases-clearing RBI double. And it's still 6-0 Brewster. Here's Jay Abernathy, first pitch swinging. Fouled off, strike one.
Yeah, Abernathy almost kind of owes Torres because he lost it in right field, and then Torres made the unbelievable grab.
The 0-1 is thrown into the backstop. The count's now even at a ball and a strike. It's the top of the order. And Terrence Keel here to kick things off in the sixth. Keel is 0 for 3 so far. He's one of 2 Whitecaps that have not reached base. The other one, Delamalier, who hits third. 1-1, jam shot, drifting into shallow right field. That gets down for a bloop hit. So Keel gets on for the first time tonight with a leadoff knock to start the sixth. That's bad luck for Hughes. That ate Keel up, and he was just able to muscle it into right field.
Right fielder.
Yeah, exact opposite from yesterday. Yesterday, the Whitecaps couldn't buy a hit. And now today, all of them are falling.
6 hits, good for 6 runs. They have 3 sac fly ribbies, and the other 3 have come on base on ball walk RBIs. Here's Jay Abernathy. Check on the runner at first. He's back in time. Keel over there has stolen 3 bases in 4 attempts this summer. Hughes has now gone 2 1/3 in relief, giving up 4 hits and 1 run. First pitch to Abernathy, bunt down the first base side, Coates fields, but there's nobody covering, and that ball is going to go into right field. Keel goes now to third. He makes a huge turn. Curlin chases it down, and after the throwing error from the first baseman Coates, there's now runners at second and third. That'll be an infield hit for Abernathy, then an error that advances him to second and Keel to third.
I mean, it's every inning. That's why the Mariners are really going to look back to that Torres catch.
Florida State,
because
designated hitter number 23.
I mean,
Brody Delamalier.
Whitecaps come up to hit. It seems like they're second and third every single frame.
It's all Brewster today. That's just how this one has unfolded. Still early, top of the 6th. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Infield comes in. Chopper to Pelletier. He jumps up, caught it snow cone style, and throws on to first to beat the runner Delamalier. We've seen some sparkling defensive plays here in Harwich. And with the infield in, that one was even more difficult than normal for Pelletier. Runners stay put at second and third, now 1 out.
The catcher, number 37.
Yeah, emphasis on that snow cone. Almost popped out of his glove, but still had grasp of it. Nice, powerful throw to first, too.
Here's the cleanup hitter, Jacob Lee. He's 0 for 2. Leads this team with 4 homers. Infield stays in. First pitch, swing and a miss. A wicked slider from Hughes. 0-1. Hughes has worked out of trouble quite a few times in just 2 2/3 innings pitched. He had a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play to end the 5th. See if he can do it here. 0-1, line shot up the middle. That's a base hit. This will score 2. Pantier is in, or pardon me, Keel is in, Abernathy is in, and a 2-ribby single for Jacob Lee puts him into double digits in the RBI category here in the 6th. It's now 8-0 Brewster.
Yeah, that hit seems like a
From
real
LSU, first baseman number 8,
backbreaker
Eddie Yaman.
for the Mariners.
Now 8 runs scored for the Whitecaps. That's the first RBI hit of the game for Brewster. Lee off a first, and it's Eddie Yaman, who's been on base 3 times so far this afternoon. 1 out. First pitch to Yaman. That's called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Yesterday, a 2-1 pitching duel thriller down to the last pitch. Turning into a blowout here. The 0-1 is hit hard into right field. Larson's on the chase. He's at the wall. It's gone. Eddie Yaman. His second long ball of the summer now extends the Whitecap advantage to 10 in the 6th inning. The LSU Tiger is tearing up Whitehouse Field. He's been on base 3 times and now puts one over the fence in right field. It's all Brewster on the 4th of July.
Eddie Yaman has got a dangerous bat. He has not been retired by the Mariners this evening.
Looks like it may be it for Miguel Hugues. Steve Englert gives the point to the bullpen, and the Mariners will go to the pen again, trailing by 10 in the 6th inning. Into the game comes the right-hander Ben Alexson. We'll be right back on Cape League TV. Fastball at 89. Yeah. We're back here in Harwich. Ben Alexson, the new arm into the game for the Mariners. Miguel Hugues, along with the starter Jacob Schultz for the M's, well, they each pitched 2 2/3, and each gave up 5 runs today. It's 10-0 Brewster. There's 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 6th. There's already 4 in this half inning alone. And it's Alexson v. Holden Pantier. First pitch to Pantier, a fastball high, ball 1. Pantier, like a couple other on this Whitecaps team, has been on all 3 tries tonight. A pair of singles, and he was hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd inning. Alexson from the windup kicks and fires the 1-0. That's in there, 1-1. As this one's getting away from the Mariners, Milo. It's the 4th of July, so good time to be on Cape Cod. You see the fantastic weather today, around 90 degrees. It's hot, but beautiful day for all the people who went to the beach, maybe now rolling into a Cape League game. What has been your favorite thing to do this summer on Cape Cod? Besides Mariner baseball, of course.
Of course. I think it's just when you're on the Cape, I think my favorite thing is just it feels like you're in sort of like a bubble. It feels like you're kind of, everything's happening on the Cape, but you're in your own bubble, and it's all just great. The weather is great. People are nice here. I think just hanging out with everyone and enjoying just being relaxed on the Cape has been so great. You get away from the rambunctious energy of maybe everyday life.
2-2, pushed into right center field. That's a base hit. That's the 5th hit of the 6th inning. And this inning continues for the Whitecaps. Man at first with 1 out for Michael Torres coming up. Go on.
I also think the cool thing about the Cape is that there's so many different parts of the Cape, despite, the Cape not being that big. it feels like every single neighborhood that you drive into or town that you go into, there's a famous store that you have to check out. There's a piece of food that you got to get. Like there's always something to every town, whether it's Chatham or Falmouth or Katuitt. Every place that you go to has its different charm. So I think that's another thing that is so great.
Torres takes ball 1. I think you're right. I mean, every time we've gone somewhere, even all of these ballparks, they have their own flair to them in the Cape League. They're at Stony Brook Field for the first time all summer yesterday. One 0 is hot.
What about you? What's your favorite? You've now been here for a while. I mean, this is your second summer, so you're a regular here on the Cape. You called yourself a local the other day.
I said it as a joke. 2-0 pitch. That's in there. 2-1. But yeah, you're right.
That was good.
You can come here though, and thankfully for the Cape League, because I'm a lazy vacationer type of guy, where if I go somewhere, I just want to sit in one spot in good weather. I'm a beach guy, and I don't want to go anywhere else, maybe to dinner or something. But the league and going to all these ballparks, whether it's all the way to Falmouth or all the way across the bridge to Wareham, or we were up in Orleans the other night, you naturally get to check out every spot. You just leave an hour before. You can go to a famous coffee shop, an ice cream place, a restaurant, or just kind of drive around some of the historical monuments. There's a bunch in Hyannis. 3-1. That's ball 4. That's now first and second for the Caps here with one down in the 6th, and Jake Lambden is on his way up. But yeah, I liked what you mentioned about the bubble you're in here. And I think it's definitely a Cape League bubble where there's so many moving parts to this league. There's more than just, the 35, 40 guys on each team. There's coaching staffs, there's fan bases, there's host families, there's interns, as we all know. And it's kind of a cool network where you get to see everyone once every 5 or 6 days. First pitch, swing and a miss to Lambden, 0-1. Lambden has an RBI in all 3 of his at-bats so far today. RBI walk in the 2nd, RBI walk in the 3rd, and then a sac fly out to center field in the 5th inning. He's going to need a hit to get an RBI here. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball liner into left field. It gets down, and the stop sign is on, so it won't be 4 in a row for Lambden, but he gets his first hit of the day here with 1 out in the 6th, and the bases are loaded for the Caps.
I mean,
this team is on fire.
That's the hardest hit ball off of Lambden's bat today. He's only hit a sac fly. The only other time he put the ball in play.
10,
but,
Daniel.
I mean, he and Yaman have really been the 2 guys that have blown up today and done really well. 11 hits now for Brewster.
Bottom of the order is 5 for 7 at the plate. Here's Pete Daniel. Bases loaded, 1 out.
It's unbelievable. They're always loaded.
10-0 Brewster. Alexson comes home. Daniel swings and fouls it off, first base side. And when you look at these 2 teams on paper, we talked about it in Trident Talk pregame today, Milo. Brewster is a pitch-first team. They have a top 3 staff ERA in the league at 3.75, and they have the second to worst batting average on Cape Cod as a team at 220. 0-1. That's down low.
They come through in the big moments. And we were talking yesterday about the quality of at-bats in big moments. Like, compared it to tennis, of course, with Wimbledon happening right now. Which points are you going to win? I mean, you look at the best players in the world, they only win about 50% of points.
1-1. Hanging breaking ball, now 2-1. That's a good point you brought up. I mean, the Mariners have had the bases loaded in this game. Yeah. When it was in reach, the last time they hit, it feels like forever ago after this 4-run and counting 6th inning for Brewster, but in the bottom of the 5th. And Brewster just made a fantastic defensive play. They got out of the inning. And that's sometimes just how it works in this sport. Counts now 2-2 after the called strike. This is a 6-hit, 4-run 6th inning. The bases are loaded with just 1 out. 2-2 on Pete Daniel, the hitter. Here's the pitch. That's up and in, ball 3. Tonight has not been the night for the Mariners to be in 3-ball bases loaded at-bats. Harwich has walked in 3 already. That was all from the starter Schultz. And here comes the payoff pitch to the second baseman out of Virginia Tech, Pete Daniel. That's inside, ball 4. It's now 11-0. Pantier scores from third. Everybody up 90 feet. That's the 8th walk of the game. Mariners have also hit a batter, so 9 free passes. We have not played 6 innings
from Texas
here in Harwich.
Left fielder, number 3, Terrence.
No, I don't want to
Steele,
say it's
second.
over, Milo, but sometimes you might just have to turn the page. And tonight is starting to feel like one of those nights.
Yeah, some things just aren't clicking. That fly ball to center that Torres caught seemed like the time that the Mariners were maybe going to come back. That catch was almost a dagger in the heart.
Well, that catch has now sparked a 5-run 6th inning. Bases juiced with 1 out, 0-1 count on Terrence Keel II. Keel, ground ball, that's foul. He's now behind 0-2. Quality at-bats have been the name of the game tonight for Brewster on the road. They started by drawing out long ABs, resulting in walks, and now 11 hits as a team. They're just swinging hot bats. 0-2 pitch. This one's hammered into left field. That's a base hit. Torres scores from third. Lambden stops at third. Station to station go the Whitecaps again. It's now 12-0. The bases stay loaded in the 6th inning. Keel led off this inning with a single. That's now his 2nd base hit of the 6th inning. And his first RBI of the night.
Right fielder number 5, Jay Abernathy.
Here comes Abernathy. Abernathy's 2 for 4, a double and a single. First offering in the dirt, ball 1. So the mercy rule is starting to definitely play a factor in this one potentially. Harwich, no matter what, will hit 2 more times in this game. If we play 7 innings and the Mariners are still trailing by more than 10 runs, or 10 runs, the game will be called. 1-0 in the air, that's foul, and it's now 1-1.
As a game that the Mariners, of course, would want to forget. Reminds you of that Katuitt game that happened a couple of days ago over in Katuitt at Lowell Park.
1-1 pitch. Abernathy into center field. Garrity looks to have a beat on it. He will. Tagging from third is Lambden. The throw is cut off by Coates. It's now 13-0 Brewster. Abernathy gets the RBI sac fly to center field.
I mean, they are hitting sac flies
From Florida State
today.
The designated hitter, number 23.
That's good baseball. You
Brody
bring home
Delamelier.
runs, use it out. Sac fly is underrated. I mean, yes, it's an out, but I mean, it's a quality out that can really propel you, and it just goes to show that the Brewster Whitecaps today are taking quality at bats time in and time out.
Here's Delamelier. First pitch to Brody. He is called a strike. Delamelier is the best hitter for average in this entire lineup today. He hits .313, has 9 RBIs. He hits third. He's 0 for 4. The only Brewster Whitecap to not reach base. 13-0 Brewster. First and second, 2 outs. Top of the 6th. Delamelier takes back-to-back strikes down the heart of the plate, and he's down 0-2 to Alexson.
Brewster has 15 sacrifice flies this season, which is 6 more than the second best Chatham A's.
Pretty good at small ball, but they're doing everything tonight. Played defense, they've pitched, they have a dozen hits. The 0-2 Delamelier punched down the right field line, a long run for Larson, and that is out of play. So the runners got to go back to first and second. It's Keel off of first, Daniel off of second. 2 on with 2 out. 7 already in the top of the 6th. And Delamalier trying to battle in a 0-2 count just to tack on a couple more here on the holiday. Two-strike pitch. This one's hit down the right field line, and it is foul.
Larson's getting his steps in over there.
Yeah, no days off when you play baseball. Not even holidays. Summer sport. Big leaguers are playing ball today.
Yep.
It's a good day for baseball. Good day to come to a baseball game. Maybe not this one if you're looking for a tight game.
Or if you're a Mariner fan.
You're a Brewster fan, man. The 4th of July is combined with your birthday today.
Yep.
13-0. 0-2 count on Delamalier. Here's another one. That's in the dirt. Maluski keeps it in front. Runners stay put. Harwich will be back in action tomorrow night at home at Whitehouse Field. That's a big game against Chatham. Chatham, a game over 500. They've played well. They're a contender still in the East Division. And a pitch clock violation on the hitter Delamalier is going to strike him out. So maybe the only way the Mariners can get out of the 6th inning is on a pitch clock strikeout. 7 runs for the Whitecaps. It's 13-0 Brewster. We'll be right back for the home half on Cape League TV. It's 13-0 Brewster here in the bottom of the 6th on Cape League TV. Brewster goes to the bullpen for the first time tonight after Peyton Manka's marvelous 5 innings of scoreless baseball held the Mariners to just 3 hits tonight. And it's Noah Thigpen, the righty out of Troy, making his Cape League debut here in Harwich. He's got a 13-run lead to work with. First pitch goes right past the face of Nate Castellone. Ball 1. So Thigpen, a guy that was on the Troy Trojans' first ever College World Series team. He actually pitched in the College World Series against Ole Miss. The 1-0 is in the same spot, and Castellone might want to back up a little. 2-0. In the game that Ole Miss eliminated Troy, that was a 12-8 win at Omaha, Thigpen went 5 innings of 6-hit, 2-run baseball. So he set up Troy to win that game. Granted, they lost 12-8. Or pardon me, that was Troy eliminating Ole Miss on June 14th. Troy won 12-8. Thigpen got the win. Ole Miss took a 6-2 lead early on in that game. And Thigpen came out of the bullpen for 5 innings of action. How about that? The Troy Trojans in Omaha. What a cool thing to see.
Yeah, Cinderella run.
They had an electric home crowd behind them the entire way. 2-2 pitch to Castellon. Popped up right center field, shallow. Abernathy comes in from right, and he makes the catch for the first out of the 6th. But after pitching a ton over a successful season at Troy, Thigpen went 59 in the 3rd innings pitched, had a 6.07 ERA. Got to give the guy credit. He's now out wanting more innings here on Cape Cod. Maybe an ideal first appearance. Not much pressure, 13-0 game on the 4th of July. Here's Cade Kurland with 1 out. First pitch. That's in there, strike 1. Thigpen pumps that fastball in there. That one said 97. He's fastball, cut fastball, changeup, curveball is the mix for the righty Thigpen. 0-1 to Kurland. That's in there. Kurland's kind of diving out of the box here on both of those called strikes.
The ball's just getting there faster than he's expecting.
It's now 0-2 on the 0-for-2 Kurland. Thigpen working from the stretch, even with nobody on. 0-2 pitch. Kurland fouls it off into the ground. Still 0-2. So the line ends for the lefty starter out of Florida State for Brewster, Peyton Manka. 5 innings of 3 hit, no run baseball, 5 strikeouts, just 2 walks. His ERA goes down to a 0.57 ERA in over 16 innings on Cape Cod. That's pretty good.
He's a talented lefty.
Harwich only scored 2 runs yesterday in the 2-1 win on the road against Brewster. So you could say that the Brewster pitching has been consistent this series. 0-2 pitch to Kurland. Fouled into the ground again. He's staying alive here. Still pointing at the bench, still grinding here in a 13-0 game on the holiday. Telling his guys what the new righty Thigpen stuff does. Where does it go? Does it run? Does it ride? He's down 0-2. Here comes the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Chopper, this one's in play. The catcher Jacob Lee fields and throws him out for the 2nd out. A 2-3 ground out off the bat of Kurland. He's now 0-for-3. And Hotchkiss comes up with 2 outs and nobody on in the 6th inning.
The Mariners' first 3 hitters are just 1 for 9 tonight.
Jackson Hotchkiss.
But just 1 strikeout as well. They've been putting the ball in play. Just haven't been coming up with hits.
There are a plethora of Cape League games today. All of them, a majority of them, at least started before 5 o'clock. First pitch to Hotchkiss, down and in, ball 1. Hyannis at 7-10 leads YB 6-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wareham, after a rare win last night, they're just 4-13, is up 3-0 in the 3rd inning against Bourne. Falmouth, they're up 10-2 on the road at Catuit. Catuit has lost 4 in a row, and they might lose 5 in a row. And Orleans and Chatham getting ready to go over there at Veterans Field at 7 o'clock. Hotchkiss flies this one to center field. Michael Torres going to have to wait for it to come down, but when he does, that's the end of the 6th inning. The Mariners go in order. They trail by a baker's dozen. We're going to the 7th on Cape League TV.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank
Top of the 7th here in Harwich. Andrew Basil, the new pitcher into the game for the M's. And he's just trying to keep this lead at 13. Brewster, they've been all over the host Harwich Mariners today. 12 hits, 13 runs,
Leading off the top of the
shutout
7th
baseball defensively for the
From
Whitecaps. Trying to get the Mariners back after a 2-1 thriller last night that ended in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brewster was trailing, had scored 1 in the 8th. They were trying to get it tied or even walk it off. Runners were at first and second with nobody out, and the Mariners closer Jason Flores slammed the door shut for the win. But tonight, it's been a lot of that. Jacob Lee pokes one into left center field, his second hit of the game, and the leadoff man aboard here in the Brewster 7th.
From LSU.
Every
First
time.
baseman, number 8, Eddie Yaman.
They come up, there's runners on.
12 hitters for the Whitecaps. And obviously there's only 9 in the lineup, but offensively, Brewster had 12 at-bats in a 7-run 6th inning. There were 7 hits. They left 2 on base. Here's Eddie Yaman, hit a home run to right field his last time up. He's 2 for 2. Walked in the 2nd, scored. Walked in the 3rd, scored. Singled in the 5th, scored. And then scored on his own 2 RBI homer his last time up. He's had quite the day. The 0-1 to Yaman, cut on and missed. He's down 0-2 on the righty out of Northeastern, Andrew Basil. Jacob Schultz, then Miguel Hughes, then Ben Alexson. All of them have given up at least 3 earned runs in this one. See if Basil can get out of here quick in the 7th. It's now 1-2. Gorgeous day, though. Cape League baseball showing off the talent. It's been all Brewster, but an exciting game. Got to give them credit. They have 13 hits. 1-2 pitch. Yaman skies it. Left field. In the sun, Hotchkiss comes in and makes the catch for the first out.
That ball deaded midair, sky high. Yaman caught it on the barrel, but just
From Walters
underneath
State Community
it.
College, the 3rd baseman, number 7.
First time he's been retired.
Pantier.
Holden Pantier made his Cape League debut yesterday. He went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. The Georgia Tech transfer today at Harwich, he's 3 for 3, has been on base 4 times, and has scored 2 runs. All 3 of his hits have been singles. First pitch to Pantier, up and in. He's had a diverse day, though. For 3 singles, his first one was an infield hit. Then he pulled one to left field in the 5th, and then he hit one the other way to right in the 6th inning. Jacob Lee off of first. The 1-0 is fouled off, 1-1. Monday's off day for Harwich will be a much-needed off day. You're looking after the game tomorrow against Chatham of 2 weeks straight. That's 14 consecutive days of baseball for the Mariners. The 1-1 is rocketed into right field. Larson goes back. It's going to stay in play, and he makes the grab for the second out.
Yeah, because they had the off day tactically on Thursday, but with Fenway Day, everyone still got to work. In fact, it was more travel than
Center
normal
fielder, number 24,
because you're driving
Torres.
about 2.5 hours to Boston.
I think that's a tougher day than a Cape League game.
Yeah, and you're coming back. That's 5 hours in the bus.
At least with the traffic. I mean, that was Thursday?
Yeah.
That's 4th of July traffic.
It was rough.
Here's Michael Torres. First pitch called a strike, 0-1. Their bus also got delayed an hour and a half. So they had to wait for everyone else to go at Fenway because they missed their own time slot.
Their time was switched with Wareham.
And then they made it back. But they've been on a 4-game winning streak. The 0-1 is punched foul, and Torres
That's a good point.
is down 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at this stretch. When that game was called against Hyannis back almost 2 weeks ago, you look at the team, and you have an off day then, but it's not really an off day because you were scheduled to play. The team went to the field. If you were to say they're ending this off day or stretch of play,
oh my gosh, that's the catch of the season. Basil just pulled that out of his pocket. That's the end of the 7th. Andrew Basil, how in the world did he just catch that? It went right into his glove, cat-like reflexes from the northeastern arm. And the Mariners trail 13-0. Their last hope to not lose via the mercy rule coming up when we come back in the bottom of the 7th on Cape League TV. Bottom of the 7th, the Mariners
from Oklahoma
are towing the line of getting mercy ruled here. Brewster is up 13-0. The rule is if you lead by 10 or more after 7 innings, the game is called in mercy rule fashion, so it's going to take 4 runs from the M's in the home half of the 7th.
The designated hitter,
The new pitcher into the game is the lefty and rising senior out of Oklahoma, Nate Smithburg. Smithburg, his hometown, Libertyville, Iowa, 6'2", 260-pound, kind of side-arming left-hander. Left on left with Smolinski. That's inside, ball 1. In 2026 for the Sooners, appeared in 18 games, all in relief. Had a marvelous 3.08 ERA, which is the lowest out of the entire Oklahoma Sooners pitching staff from their College World Series season. The 1-0 is up the middle and a base hit for Smolinski, his second of the game. So Ty's still battling. What does he not do? I would say get out, because he's always on base. That brings up Peltier.
Number 13, J.P. Peltier.
Yeah, good way for Ty to go about that. Now 2 singles his last couple times up.
Here's Peltier. First pitch down low, ball 1. So more on Smithburg. Oklahoma won the College World Series over North Carolina. He pitched in the game that they lost against UNC. That series went to 3 games. Oklahoma took game 3. Smithburg went an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. That was the 6-2 loss against UNC. But he pitched in the tournament multiple times against Kansas, against Georgia Tech. Lefty, he's got some serious stuff. He's also a national champion. He's now 3-0 on Peltier.
How about that? Bringing his national champion juice to Brewster.
Smithburg is sinker slider, sidewinder lefty. Also has a changeup he'll throw in there as a bridge pitch at times. Keep you on your toes. Trying to find the zone here. 3-0 against Peltier. And that's ball 4 inside. So Peltier has been a bright spot for the Mariners, who have been shut out tonight. JP has reached base all 3 times, a pair of walks and a single back in the 5th. Quentin Coates, for the 2nd time today, will have an at-bat with runners at first and second and nobody out. He's 0 for 2.
The first baseman, number 25, Quentin Coates.
largest comeback we've seen in the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer came from the Brewster Whitecaps. They were trailing Chatham 8-1 at home and eventually walked them off. That was a couple days ago. Harwich has Chatham right here tomorrow night. Here's Coates. First and second, nobody out. Harwich down by 13. First pitch in there, strike one.
Take a breath.
One and one. Bottom of the order tonight for Harwich, 0 for 5 at the plate. 4 strikeouts. Smithburg looks in and comes home. The 1-1 foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Kelly, or pardon me, Lee. And the count's now 1-2. Harwich has been held to just 4 hits today, 2 from Smolinski. And they led off this game with a hit. Colin Larson did. He got picked off of first. Ever since then, the Mariners just couldn't get guys on base. After Larson was picked off first as the first hitter to get on for the Mariners, he's the leadoff man. Mariners only had 1 runner on base up until the 5th inning. 2-strike pitch to Coates. Coates fouls it off. Stays alive in the 1-ball, 2-strike count. Brewster comes into Harwich at 10-6-1. They're only +2 in the run differential column. Harwich at 12-5 at +27. Everybody's chasing the 15-1-1 +79 YD Red Sox. 1-2 to Coates, belted into right center field. Abernathy chases. It hangs up for him to grab. That's the first out. Smolinski tags from second to third. And runners are at the corners for the M's with 1 out.
Yeah, nice piece of contact there from Coates. You can take that into tomorrow, hopefully. Went the other way again. We've seen him do that a bunch of times.
From Mississippi State, the catcher, number 20, Kevin Maluski.
Here's Kevin Maluski. Maluski is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts today. Both of them came from the lefty starter Peyton Manka. He had 5 punch-outs, 5 innings of scoreless baseball. He's in line for the win. First pitch to Maluski, outside ball 1. Then it was Noah Thigpen. He came into the game for just an inning. Didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run. And now it's the lefty Nate Smithburg trying to shut things down and send everybody home in 7 innings at Whitehouse Field. 1-0. Maluski takes outside ball 2. So in these blowout games, I talked to the Mariners pitching coach Hunter Dilworth about a week ago when the Mariners had one against Katuitt. And that game just felt to drag quite a bit. Tonight, not so much because Brewster has had a lot of exciting plays offensively. They have 13 hits, 13 runs. But the Mariners have gone down quietly. This is a fly ball to right field. Abernathy is under it. Smolinski will not tag. And Harwich is down to their final out. But I asked him, just from being in this league, what do you attribute that to? Because from my perspective the last 2 summers is the pitchers don't really pitch in relation to the score all the time. They want to strike everyone out. If you look behind home plate, there's still, a dozen or so scouts at this game on the 4th of July. And he said that's exactly what it is, Luke, because they don't care. If no one's on or it's 13-0, they want to keep their ERA, and that's completely understandable. In the MLB, they just send a guy out there to throw strikes and get outs. Here's Garrity. Chopper foul, 0-1. Smithburg trying to get through a scoreless 7th inning and prove Brewster to 11-6. Harwich would fall to 12-6. And Brewster would get right back to where they were before this 2-game home and home over yesterday and today, a half game back of Harwich. Oh, 1 to Garrity. That's scorched into left center field. A good jump from Torres in center, and he tracked it down. The Whitecaps win it 13-0 in run rule fashion here on the 4th of July. And everybody's going home early in Harwich. It was all Brewster today, Milo. You look back to that 7-run 6th inning. That's really what spark-plugged them into a 7-inning exit. Look at those guys in center field.
That's quite the celebration out there. But yeah, I mean, the Mariners just didn't really have it tonight. Some games are going to be like that. Sometimes it just won't click. And that was the case tonight for the M's. You got to bounce back. Listen, you split the home and home, like you said. Take one at
Final
Stony
score
Brook.
of tonight's game.
Brewster takes one here.
Brewster 13,
we'll see this team
Harwich
down the line.
0.
They play each
The
other
Mariners
a
will
couple
be back
times
home tomorrow,
in this
Sunday, July 5th,
month
to
of
take
July.
on the Chatham Anglers here at 5:30
It will be
p.m.
a
Thank you all for
battle
joining us.
between these two sides all
Happy
summer long.
Independence Day.
And they split the
Arrive
home and home.
safely
Tonight,
and
though,
enjoy
game
the
that
rest of your weekend.
Harwich will probably want to
We will
forget.
see you tomorrow night at 5:30
Peyton
right back here
Manka,
at
the
Whitehouse
starter
Field.
for the Whitecaps, gets the win after 5 innings of 3-hit, no-run baseball. The Mariners starter Jacob Schultz just went 2 2/3 of 5-run ball. He gets the loss. And the Whitecaps take it 13-0 on the 4th of July. A blowout win. They'll be celebrating a little bit early tonight. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today on Cape League TV. We apologize for the camera difficulties. We'll be back and better tomorrow night for a matchup of Sunday Night Baseball to wrap up 4th of July weekend here on Cape Cod against the Chatham Anglers. We'll see you tomorrow night on TV. Thanks for tuning in. For my partner Milo Hoffman, our sideline reporter Lily Reisenweber, and our producer Sawyer Goldwine, I'm Luke